It's 5 days of being tested. Early mornings and long days where combat-tested warriors come from all over the United States to compete. The only thing on their mind is to prove they deserve to be chosen. Chosen to represent their service and build on their journeys towards recovery.
For the first Warrior Games in 2010, the Air Force had 6 applications. We have well over 100 athletes here today. That just shows kind of the exponential growth of the Air Force team.
So they can show the rest of us what real strength is all about.
Typically, a team consists of 40 service members. Because the amount of applicants has grown, the coaches of the Air Force team have some tough choices to make. 100 athletes will put their skills to the test, and it won't be easy.
It's fierce this year, and we have a lot of really good new talent coming in. That's a great problem to have, so we're all pretty happy about it. But at the same time, I think the athletes are competitive, and they obviously want to make the team if they're here.
These athletes are tremendously tough. They've been through a lot, and they bring that here with them. This is an intense process here. This is a high-level, high-caliber event.
It's not just the competition that drives them. Whether it's to prove someone wrong or to prove something to themselves, these athletes want more than being on the Air Force team.
After 21 years of service, the only time I feel semi-normal is when I'm around other warriors. Since I've been here, I felt like I'm part of that family again.
And they will tell you straight up that, a few months ago, they didn't even want to leave the house. So for them to make that transition from being afraid to even leave the house to coming out here, it takes a tremendous amount of guts.
Day by day, day by day, better and better, better and better. Can't be beat, can't be beat, won't be beat, won't be beat.
These are the first ever Air Force trials. During my time in Las Vegas, I got the chance to follow 2 athletes on their journeys through the trials. As you can see by this competition, bikes can come in all shapes and sizes. Competing today is Mike Sanders. Mike is a 51-year-old retired senior master sergeant after serving more than 23 years in the Air Force.
I'm a kind of an adventurer, but I've been running track and cross country since I was 16. And then I picked up some cycling, so I did some cycling on the side and things like that, just to kind of get out and be a part of the community and work out with my teammates and so forth. And the camaraderie is what kind of sells me on it.
This is his 3rd year competing as a wounded warrior. As one of the seasoned veterans of the group, Mike knows what it takes to win. At the 2010 and 2012 Warrior Games, Mike had a lot of success, winning 4 medals in track and cycling, 1 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze.
I hope I'm giving the young guns a little run for their money,
But Mike will be the first one to tell you that it was a long road to get to this point. In 2007, Senior Master Sergeant Sanders was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Mike would have surgery on his neck, removing a racquetball-sized tumor.
Right and left pharyngeal pieces of the wall, part of the epiglottis, 40 lymph nodes, and a neck muscle. So all those were from the radical neck dissection all the way across.
Mike went on to get regular chemo and radiation treatments, which dropped his body weight to under 110 pounds. All of this was happening while Mike was still on active duty.
And so I had to prove to the Air Force that I was still fit for duty. And I wanted to continue to do those things. I've never scored less than 100 on my PT test, even during cancer.
Sergeant Sanders made it his mission to finish his career in the Air Force.
All right, ladies.
I'm Daniel Crane. I'm here to compete in the 2014 Wounded Warrior Games.
Daniel Crane is a retired staff sergeant. He is 24 years old, and this is his first time in the competition.
This is for all the ladies out there.
He has entered himself in virtually every event during the trials.
I hope to show them that I can definitely do very well in each and every sport, that I'm a very good candidate.
Right now, Daniel is in the archery event, and as you can see, he has an interesting style of shooting.
Somebody mentioned at a different introductory sports camp, like, hey, why don't you put a little mouth pad? And I was like, oh, okay, let's try that. Pulled it back and shot a couple down, and it was actually pretty accurate.
For the recurves, first place, once again, I don't know how you did it, Daniel Crane for 191.
Daniel has to shoot with his mouth because he lost the use of his right arm while stationed in Guam.
I was off duty back in July 2012 over at a buddy's house, and when I was leaving to go home, an anti-military local in the area decided to shoot me with either a shotgun or a high-caliber rifle.
Alone and bleeding in his car, Daniel began to yell for help.
That was the most helpless I felt ever, the most scared I've ever felt, because I really thought that was it and I was going to die, and didn't think anybody was going to come out.
You know, there's a point when you go through something that you don't know if you're going to come back, or you feel you're going to be different, and so you don't try to be different anymore. You want to try and be as normal as possible. And I think once you realize that you're in your new normal and you're with people that are the same, it's a big deal.
This is the place where wounded warriors discover their new normal. Instead of focusing on the 2% of things they can't do, here they focus on the 98% of things they can do, with the help of friends.
Just like yesterday.
It's been a complete 180 ever since I first got hurt and was recovering and thinking that I can't do anything, especially with only one arm. Didn't think I could compete again in sports. I didn't think I'd ever be around such a good group of guys and girls, and the support system here is just phenomenal, and it's changed my world.
And what I really like about out here too is, you know, there's a lot of guys out here that have been retired for a while, and they don't have that feel of connection to the Air Force anymore, but they do now. That's bringing it together.
These airmen, after just 1 week together, built bonds that will last a lifetime. And for the coaches, they got something too.
I think I get more than I give, for sure. I mean, we try and give them everything possible, but really it's absolutely motivating and inspiring, and it's something that I think these athletes get from each other, and we get it from them.
Trials champion with a time of 43:47, Mike Sanders.
Mike is now 6 years cancer-free and an alternate for the Warrior Games.
To get famous,
Daniel was selected not only for the Warrior Games, but he was also selected to represent the United States in Europe during the Invictus Games. One day he hopes to continue his career in the Air Force.